Finovate showcases cutting-edge banking and financial technology through a global conference series featuring short-form demos and thought leadership. Now, the conversation continues on the Finovate podcast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Finovate podcast. We are continuing our conversations with FinovateSpring Best of Show winners. These are the companies that our audience voted on and selected as the most exciting innovations on display in San Francisco back in May. And joining me today, we have Leigh Gross, SVP of Revenue at Array. Leigh, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So if you've been following this series, you've heard me say this before, but all of these demo videos are available at finovate.com or on the Finovate YouTube channel. I would encourage you to go and check out the full 7 minutes so you can see exactly what Leigh showed to the audience. But Leigh, for anybody who hasn't heard you before or been familiar with Array before, can you start with just an introduction of your own background and what Array is all about?
Sure, happy to. So as Greg mentioned, I'm the head of sales and revenue at Array. Been there a little over a year. I have a background in fintech. I've been in student lending, student loan refinancing, and in small business lending. So I've been in the industry, bouncing around in fintech for a little bit. In terms of Array, so we're an innovation platform that helps banks, credit unions, other fintechs offer cutting-edge financial tools to their customers. So, for example, we offer credit and identity protection solutions, personal privacy components that we allow our partners to easily embed within their experience so that they can offer these services directly to their customers.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get into what exactly those services are in just a minute. Before we get too deep, though, I want to just make sure everybody understands kind of where Array sits in the tech stack. So they kind of understand where your technology starts and stops. Can you talk about that a little bit, about kind of how you position yourselves inside that tech stack?
Yeah, so the kind of the goal of Array and what's making us pretty popular right now is that we enable our partners to get access to certain solutions without having to do a lot of development. So that's like first and foremost. So what we've built is a suite of components that can be easily embedded that allow you to offer these services. So for example, with when it comes to the credit tools that you saw in the demonstration, you can think of Array's technology really as almost a window into the bureau data that your customers get to see. The other thing that we've done is we've integrated with a lot of the leading banking platforms. So for most, banks and credit unions, accessing Array's tools is as easy as really flipping on a switch because all the development work has been done already with the banking platform.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a crucial piece as well, that kind of ease of integration, being able to come in really quickly. Can you talk a little bit more about what exactly that process looks like, just so nobody gets kind of scared off at this point?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's really so we've built it. When you build things out by components, it's kind of nice because it provides flexibility, but also like ease of use. So for example, a bank can look and say, I want to offer, I want my customers to see their credit score. I want them to see why their score is what it is. And I want them to have a simulator so they can play around and see what would happen to their score. We would then take those components, we would design them in the look and feel of the bank. And then they're basically handed an SDK that they can just embed within their solution. As I mentioned before, if you're actually working with a banking platform, then you don't even have to do that. And it's really just about designing them, and then it gets turned on from within the banking platform.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, that kind of ease of integration is so important, and being able to actually reach a lot of the end users here. So let's get into the product itself a little bit more now. Now, what you showed on stage at FinovateSpring, we kind of had this journey around the end user credit score. I think we were following Bruce Wayne, actually, and his relationship with Gotham Bank as he is looking to raise his credit score, which, I think he probably will end up with an okay credit score when all is said and done. Although his expenses are vast.
I'm fighting his expenses.
Right. But can you expand a little bit on kind of all of the different products and services? I know that kind of credit scoring piece is just one element. So I want to just have you explain what else you guys really offer.
Yeah. So there were two solutions that I showed in the demonstration. So for example, when it comes to credit, we're providing the ability to obviously show your customers their credit score. You can also show them something called score factors, which allows you to see why your score is what it is with your data. So for example, if my score isn't to my liking, I can see that, I'm using, 90% of my available credit, and that's pushing my score down. So with that information, we're also offering insights as to how you might improve your score. Then we provide tools like debt analysis, where you can see all of your outstanding debts and if your payments are on time. We have a score simulator that's actually really cool because you can see what would happen if you took particular actions. So, if I took out an auto loan for $20,000, what would that do to my score? And what would the drop be, whether it be a temporary drop or a long-term impact? So things like that are really helpful. At the same time, like with the simulator, it's providing key information to the bank as to like, oh my God, one of your customers is actually looking for an auto loan. You might want to do something about that. We also offer identity protection solutions. So that's like, everything that you come to expect in terms of like dark web monitoring. If someone steals your identity, if someone tries to take over one of your bank accounts, we offer up to $1 million in insurance, and we offer a white glove restoration service that will actually help your customers, get their identity back. It's also that's a good tool too, because it's one of those ones that, in the market, people typically pay for. So if you wanted to generate a little non-interest income, that's something that you can offer. Now we also offer a personal privacy solution through a company that we just acquired called Hello Privacy, where you can actually see all the places where your data is appearing on the web, not the dark web, like really the places where you've actually probably authorized it. So, you got your common things, your Netflix, your newspaper, the online subscriptions that you've done. But also what you'll find is the data brokers that have your data, and we give you the ability to identify that and actually have it scrubbed in an automated way. So that's like another example of a solution that a bank can really easily plug in. They can offer to their customers. They can charge for it if they need to generate some more income. It's really very flexible.
So on this personal privacy piece, and this is obviously one that as you said, you didn't get to really show in the 7 minutes up there on stage. Help me understand how that's kind of different from the dark web personal monitoring kind of solution, because I think that this distinction is a really important one.
Yeah. So everyone, I think there's a lot of focus on dark web. And of course, what that means is someone has stolen your identity from one of the millions of breaches that has taken place. And now your key information exists on the dark web for bad actors to purchase and do whatever they will with. That's covered in identity protection, and that's obviously really important. What we're talking about with the personal privacy side is there are places that actually have acquired your information legally, either because you knowingly consented to it, you probably didn't knowingly consent, and there are data brokers that get access to this stuff. They do it legally, and then your data gets sold and kind of moved all over the place. And it leads to things like spam calls and an increase in, junk mail and all those other things that you get that's so annoying and can lead to all different types of things. That's what this solution focuses on. So it identifies it for you, and it gives you the ability to just wipe that out if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a crucial issue. I think this is one of those things that sometimes surprises people. I know, my 9-year-old son, we really try and get him to save a portion of his allowance for giving. He made a donation to the World Wildlife Fund, which speaks to him on a personal level. He loves animals. He loves the zoo. And then we started getting mail in his name from a host of other charities, right? And it's nothing that's, the information that is out there for him is nothing so bad, but it's his name and his address. And this is really uncomfortable for me as a parent, trying to be like, this is my kid. This is somebody who his information should not be out there in this way. And the only way that you can explain it is because he wanted to do something good in the world. He wanted to make this donation. And so this is one that I think will speak to a lot of people who, get the same kind of, flood of junk mail. You get the spam calls, and you want to be able to use your information, make the donations or whatever that you want to make. At the same time, you need to be able to control it. So I'm really curious about that one. I think that's going to be a really cool play for you guys, and I applaud you for tackling it. Yeah,
we're really excited about that. And the cool thing is also you can enroll in it as a subscription so that it's continually monitoring, because what'll happen is you'll wipe it out. It's going to come back because you're going to do whatever it is that you do. Like things like that, right? You're going to do a good act, and I'm sure hopefully he'll do that again somewhere else, and the same thing happens. And so you really have to stay on top of these things.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And again, to your earlier point, this is going to be something that people are willing to pay for. And so as a bank, if you can offer it, you're going to be in a position to collect a little more revenue for it. I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about your demo was the idea that, kind of helping customers achieve their financial goals helps their financial institutions to make them more profitable, more effective from a marketing standpoint. I think this isn't groundbreaking. I think people kind of generally know this, But there's still this big disconnect between the way the industry understands this concept and also the kind of lack of activity that knowledge spurs. And so this is my question: what about Array in particular puts you in the position to kind of help banks close this loop and kind of encourage the activity that most bankers probably already know they should be paying attention to?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And so I think there's two pieces to that, right? There's the idea that we should be helping customers improve their financial position, and the bank is the perfect place to be doing that. People are looking to their banks to do this type of thing, and so Array's tools certainly do that, right? So you're helping people. We all recognize the importance of a credit score. I mean, it really is your ability to access the financial market. Getting a mortgage, getting a car, renting an apartment, anything that you need to do really does rely a bit on your credit score. So helping people improve that or understand it is quite valuable. I think what makes Array a little bit different is, and if you just did that, that would be obviously quite nice and a noble cause. I think what makes Array a little bit of a different solution is that not only do we do that, but we help the bank now take that information and help their customers access the right products, the ones that that they need, and the ones that they're likely to qualify for now that you know what their financial position is. So, helping someone get the best possible rate on that car loan or refinance their mortgage and save money. Those are things that you can do while at the same time helping your customers improve their financial position.
Yeah. And in that context, the areas that you've chosen to focus so far really makes a ton of sense. What's the next area that you guys look at as a place where you can come in and make a difference in both kind of, with the same duality, helping the customers and also helping their financial institutions at the same time?
Yeah, I think so. When you think about like where we're heading, like I said in the beginning, our goal really is to be the platform that allows our partners, our banks, to be able to offer like the best possible solutions to their customers around financial health and wellness. So I think the next areas that we're looking at, an example would be, we've covered credit awareness. We help let you see why your score is what yours is. I think we're going to get into helping people actually improve their score with like a credit builder type of a product, right? So
sure,
actually letting you take a step that would make your score go up. That's one thing we'd look at. We're looking at things, I'd say, like, around maybe planning for financial future or giving people more information that they can use to make smarter decisions. I think those are the areas where we're looking to innovate.
Yeah. And again, that makes sense. I think, the central theme of just helping to give end customers the pieces that they need to deal with the problems that a lot of them are facing, which are very real and very immediate problems in people's lives. I'd like to zoom out now for the last couple of minutes that we've got here and talk about kind of this bigger picture when it comes to bank and financial institution marketing. I think it would be maybe not quite accurate to categorize Array as a marketing solution, although there's certainly elements of that marketing play that are part of your technology. When you look at kind of this bigger picture, where exactly does the line exist between kind of customer care, taking care of customers, and also marketing a bank's products? Where exactly is that line for you?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I think, the nature of customer care has changed so dramatically over the past, somewhere 10 to 20 years, where, you used to have an experience where customers came into the branch, they expressed their needs, they asked questions, they spoke to their banker, and you helped them. That doesn't happen anymore. And even I think as hopefully COVID lessens and we return to more normalcy, I think that's changed for good, right? Most banking is happening online now. And so I think that presents a challenge and an opportunity. So for us, I think where that line exists is you help your customers, but in doing so, you're actually gathering information that you can then use to help your marketing. So for example, when you see things like someone's interacting with the simulator and looking at a mortgage refi, when you see and have an understanding of your customer's credit situation, you can actually create a rules engine that Array will manage for you that will allow you to generate the right offers to those people at the right time. So, we are in a lot of ways a marketing tool, I think. And even though we may not just come out and position it that way, I think it's a big part of it. It's this combination of financial wellness and customer engagement, giving them what they want and helping people, and really helping to supercharge the marketing of our partners in a lot of ways, right? Making it far more efficient. You wouldn't want to market, if I don't own a home, you wouldn't want to market, you're wasting your money and your time if you're showing me a mortgage refinancing offer, right? You want to target the people who actually have a home and would benefit from that product. So that's the kind of stuff that our tools let you do. And I think so, the line is probably blurred, but I think we kind of exist in both areas of it.
Yeah, and I mean, it really comes down to that personal ability to kind of zero in on somebody and say, look, this is a product that I think you would actually use. We understand you. We understand where you're coming from. We understand the challenges you're facing. And it looks like maybe now is the time to think about this kind of product. And this sort of softer, more personal touch, I think, can be really effective, especially when you compare it to kind of the more broad strokes, shotgun style approach of just, I always think of the commercials I see on TV where somebody is just saying, this bank has your back, and we see a guy like making a 30-foot putt, and you're like, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. What are you actually doing for me? So I really love that. And so, like, last question, how do you think this balance shifts over the next 5 years or so as you look towards the future? Where does this line between kind of personal marketing, and it's already blurry, does it disappear altogether, or do we see some sort of other kind of shift coming which will change the way that banks have to engage their customers?
Yeah, look, I think that you've had so many different types of solutions kind of come up over the past 10 years or so, offering all these different solutions. And if you think about like the battle for the customer, if you're a bank, they are now seeing, advertisements online, and they're being targeted in so many different places, oftentimes with like relevant, good products. I think what you're going to start to see, and we're starting to see already, is the shift to start to see how can a bank bring and cobble together the best possible solution that's kind of all encompassing so they can meet their customers' needs, right? So, you don't want, every time your customer goes somewhere else to get one of these solutions, you can be sure that they're going to be marketing all of their other solutions and probably trying to take your customer away. And if they can do a better job of it, then maybe the customer belongs there. So I do think that, what you're seeing now is this race to say, all right, what are the most important solutions that we want to offer? And how can we do it in a way that's not going to look, everyone has development resource limitations, even, the largest of institutions. And how can we bring important products without disrupting our entire product roadmap, without having to leave an entire engineering team behind to manage this tool for the next 20 years? I think that's where Array really tries to play, which is our goal is to bring you as many of these solutions as we can. And every time we bring you one, it's in a component, it's customizable, and it's not going to require much engineering work at all, and little to no maintenance, especially. So I think that's really like where we're trying to play. And I think, the market's moving in that direction. And so I think we're in a good spot for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to see why this resonated so strongly with our audience there in San Francisco. And again, I would encourage anybody listening to go check out the demo video, watch it for yourself, get a sense of how the technology looks. Make sure you pay attention for Leigh's awesome Batman Joker pun, which I think a lot of the audience missed, but I certainly didn't, and I appreciate you putting it. Yeah. So I've been talking with Leigh Gross, SVP at Array. Leigh, thanks again for joining me. This has been a great conversation.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Greg.
The Finovate podcast is produced by Informa Connect in association with Provoke.fm Media. Check out Finovate.com for information on Finovate's upcoming shows and to learn how you can get involved. The discount code Finovate Podcast will save you 20% on tickets to all of our events. And you can email us at info@finovate.com for information on sponsoring, speaking, or demoing. Thanks for listening.